Good morning from Johor. I was attending ATF 2025, and today we are having Dato Sri Naresh Mohan with us, Group CEO of Trinidad. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm staying with your hotel. I would like to compliment you. I had a very comfortable stay.
Thank you.
Vegetarian meals were all through very good, and I really appreciate whatever the efforts you all team have put on for us to make our stay comfortable. Thank you for it.
Thank you. That's great.
And now I'll go shooting my questions to you.
Sure.
Seeing this market and also targeting the Indian market out there, what are your marketing strategy, and how do you plan to cater the Indian people because of their specific vegetarian needs? And apart from that, they see this part of Malaysia as a family destination. How do you want to market yourself in India?
Well, of course, I have a natural advantage because I'm already Indian. So, and I started engaging the Indian market many years ago. Obviously, I saw the trend, and I'll tell you a very funny story. I had a resort, hilltop resort in Genting Highlands, and we were the first resort that didn't belong to the Genting family, the Resort World Group. And in the beginning, people found us, let's say they were threatened by us. They were not sure how we would perform and what we would do. So obviously when the big boys were blocking access for us and so on. So, and my biggest problem was, of course, those days everything was about China, right? And so I pivoted. And I decided, I'm going to bring the Indian tourist to Genting Highlands. This is going back in 2017, 2018. And so I did my research. I went to a couple of trade fairs, Satay, and a few other trade fairs in India. I spoke to a lot of agents, and they advised me, and they were the ones who told me, if you want to have happy Indian clients, happy Indian guests, you must have the food. You must have the vegetarian meals and so on. Again, like I said, being Indian, it was easy for me. So I came back, and then I hired a couple of Indian chefs, and I made sure that I have a, let's say, Indian section, Indian kitchen section. And we started receiving the tourists. And he got off to a great start. I mean, like you said, they saw the attention to detail. They saw how we delivered the quality of food, and so on. And I always believe at the end of the day, even when I travel overseas, I go to Europe and so on and so forth, there's only so much of that kind of food you can eat. After a while, you go back to your comfort food, right? So it made sense to me, and therefore I decided to invest in hiring good Indian chefs. And we never looked back since. So every hotel that we open, especially when there's a high probability of having Indian tourists, we make sure that we have an Indian section in our buffet to cater to those needs. The rest of it, I think the Indian tourists are quite relatively easier in their style. They're more relaxed. They also want to enjoy and experience other attractions, or the moment you talk about going to the theme park or going all those places, then there's no issue there, right? They want to enjoy themselves as well. So they're more relaxed. I think the quality of the Indian tourists are sometimes better because they tend to spend a bit more in the hotel. Indians being Indians, they never eat on time, so they'll always order food after the fact. After the buffet is closed, then we'll get another for Indian food. Some of them go to the bar, and so forth, right? So the typical Indian tourist is not as rigid as some other nationalities where they have very fixed programs and they're always on the move. Indians like to take their time a little bit more. And yeah, so I think, in Malaysia we are very blessed because we're a melting pot. We already have a very strong Indian community in Malaysia. So, like I said, catering to the Indian tourists in Malaysia is, it's very, very easy. It's not a difficult task at all.
Okay. Talking about the other segments, I've seen your meeting rooms, ballrooms. Are you also in plan with the, market yourself as a MICE destination, or to attract the business traveler as well for their launch, or the business needs as well?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think this year we are definitely looking at increasing the MICE business for the Indian traveler. So I've asked my director of sales to explore possibility of bringing more corporate businesses. Another big area that already exists in Malaysia is the Indian wedding, the overseas wedding destinations. Malaysia is one of the favorite destinations for Indian weddings. I remember we hosted a very big Indian family, meaning a big group, who had their wedding in Langkawi, and we had them for 4 nights, 5 days. We planned a special itinerary just for them, so that they will not only be in the resort, but they actually enjoy the whole island of Langkawi. So every day we had different activities for them, and they absolutely loved it. I mean, they were actually sad to go back, so to speak. And of course, like I said, it's about hospitality is about being flexible enough to make sure your guests have a good experience.
True.
Right? Because that's what everyone's looking for, the experience of and the memory that they take back. So we try to go that much further in delivering that experience to the guests. Because we are local, we know the other players, we know who's good, who's not good, or what's going on in the market. So we suggest to the guests, and most of the time they do say, they listen and they say, okay, let's try it, and then obviously they don't regret. They have a good time. Okay. They went out. I remember we even arranged a special private cruise for them, for sunset, and they spent the whole afternoon out at sea in a private catamaran. So, and they wanted food and drinks and everything served on the boat, and we made it all happen for them. So they were really happy.
Okay. So coming on to Visit Malaysia 2026, and also Malaysia Tourism government had extended the visa free for Indian market.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you see that, and how are your plans to target Visit Malaysia to in 2026? To ripe up the benefits out of that?
Yeah, well, obviously that's a very important strategic decision by the government. We are very happy that they made an announcement early enough. As you know, the tour and travel business, sometimes they need a longer lead time. So now that they know that these barriers are not there, they can plan and market and sell Malaysia more effectively. So that decision alone was a very, very important decision. I think going forward, as I said, it's about keeping the intensity of marketing and selling, going to the trade fairs, working with the online, whether it's Make My Trip or Yatra or one of these guys to promote our hotels to the Indian market. We also see quite a bit of FITs, not only groups. who come with their families and spend, a couple of days with us. So I think we have to keep on going.
So, what are your expansion plans? And before to that, can you just give us the idea, the group, how many rooms and what all services the group provides in, and your expansion plans further in coming years?
So right now we have a portfolio of 7 properties all around Malaysia, from Johor to Kuala Lumpur to Langkawi, and then on the East Coast in Kuantan and so on. We even have a hilltop resort we just opened, beautiful nature resort in the Fraser's Hill. Now going forward in the next 5 months, we're opening 3 more properties. The next one will be in Malacca, a beautiful luxury boutique hotel right on the sea, right on the water. Stunning views of sunset and so on. Great for couples and families who really want to get away. And then we have 2 more in Kuala Lumpur that's coming up. So in terms of room count, we are right now in the area of about 1,000 rooms in the whole portfolio. And with these 3 more hotels, we will be about 1,600 rooms. At the end of 2025, we have another 2 properties coming up, fairly large ones. So we hope to close over 2,000 rooms by the end of 2025, because the last 2 actually are already, they themselves are 500 rooms together. One is 300, one is 200. So yeah, we are growing rapidly. We want to be able to operate in all the different states around Malaysia, so that we can give a comprehensive platform to the travel groups, depending on the kind of experience they want to have when they come to Malaysia. We will be able to provide them accordingly, whether it's a beach, whether it's a mountaintop, or eco, nature resort, or like you say, MICE business, and so on and so forth.
Talking about People Club Singapore and this part of Malaysia, so have you tied up with the Singaporeans, agents and the trade partners to promote this property as well?
Yes, we do go across to Singapore quite often. Again, well, I must declare I'm actually a Singaporean. I was born in Singapore, so again, for me, working in Singapore is not an issue. It's literally going back home and meeting up with some of my very old friends in the business. So we promote in Singapore, we promote in India. We encourage. Johor is a, let's say, affordable destination. So a lot of people do come to Johor nowadays. You see more direct flights coming into the Senai Airport in Johor, and then they stay in the hotels like ours, because we are literally a few minutes away from Legoland, and we have packages that includes the room and the ticket entrance to Legoland, and so forth. And then of course we also have a private shuttle service for those who would like to spend the day in Singapore. They can take either a van with a group of people or friends, but they also have private, like taking the Alphard or something, a vehicle across privately with the driver into Singapore, and they can spend the day going around shopping or going around Singapore, and then they get picked up again in the evening, maybe before or after dinner, and come back to the hotel. So it creates quite a vibrant array of facilities and attractions to the guests, because they get the best of both worlds. They literally come here and have a very competitive and very value for money holiday in terms of hotels and attractions. And so they spend, like I said, they could spend 1 or 2 days in Legoland, they spend a day in Singapore. Especially golfers love to stay in our hotel because we are surrounded by 3 different world-class golf courses in Johor. And like I said, we have a lot, right? We have the beaches, we have going up to the mountaintops. Even some of them are based in Johor, but they actually take a day trip to Malacca for the culture and heritage and come back, you know. So I think the proximity to Singapore definitely is a benefit to us. The 2 governments have come together now and they've launched a special economic zone, which will allow, let's say, a lot more seamless and easier travel, you know, where you don't have to go through 2 borders and 2 immigrations and 2 customs on the same journey. In this case, I think by next year, the travelers will just go through one. They have facial recognition, and so if you register yourself, it becomes very easy to go across or to come back. You know, nowadays with the facial recognition technology, the travel experience across border can be quite seamless.
Okay.
Hi guys, this is Naresh from Malaysia, and we're excited to have our guests from India coming down and trying out our properties. We have properties all over Malaysia. This one in Johor is particularly exciting. We have, you know, a lot of attractions, Legoland, and people traveled from Singapore coming into Johor, or vice versa, Johor into Singapore. We have Visit Malaysia Year 2026. I look forward to receiving you. Our tagline is your experience matters to us. So try us out. I'm sure you will not regret it. See you.